Okay, so the first thing you're gonna need to do is open up index your last one inside of Visual Studio Code. Just right click, open with, and then choose Visual Studio Code, or you go into Visual Studio Code and open it up there. The other thing I need you to do is put some images in there. So I'm going to use these images here. So I'm just going to go to my images folder. I currently only have that one, and I'm just going to plop these guys all in there. So I'm just going to grab those and drop them in here, and we'll just skip the one file. It's fine. Okay. So just make sure you put all of your images that you're going to need inside of your folder, or you're going to need to put them in the images folder as you are moving along. Okay, so just remember, all images must go in this images folder inside of that web page. That way, when you move it around and you hand it to me, the images will be included. If you just try to use them randomly on your desktop or wherever, I won't be able to see them. If they are linked to online, then obviously I can, because as long as I have a connection, but it's generally a good idea to keep them local. So anyway, there we go. So do that, open up that, and then what we're going to do is we are going to start making some changes and adjustments here. Okay, so what I want to do is actually I'm going to also open this up as a web page. So it went over here, so we'll just bring this over here. Okay, so I'm just going to start on the top and work our way down as far as replacing the content. So I don't want this to say navbar. I would rather it was my icon. The top left usually is like the sacred corner. So we want to utilize this as much as possible, and so that's a really great place to put your icon. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there instead. So where it currently says, right here it says navbar, this A, and we just have the word navbar. Instead, I'm going to put an image in there. So I'm going to take out navbar. We're going to go img, and then src, and then we'll do images because that's where my images are. And then I'm going to use the svg. And then we will go through and let's see, I think that's all I really need. So like this and like that. Okay, so now I have the image in there. I'm going to save it, and then we're going to see what it looks like. And it looks like this. So you can't really see it, and that's because it's an SVG. So it doesn't have an innate size. If you use like a PNG or any raster image, it's by default just going to be the size that it currently is. So I actually need to give it a specific dimension. I'm just going to go ahead and make a class because that way, wherever I put, if I use this image again in other places, they'll just refer to the same one. So I'm just going to make a new class and just call it logo graphic, like so. And then up here, I'm just going to make my selector logo graphic, like so. And then I'm just going to make the width, and we'll do 4EM. So if you remember, it's the uses the default size of the typeface, so it should be like basically 4 times that. Then we'll go back here, and I'll hit Control R, and there it is. Okay, and so if you have a different icon or different logo size, you would just change the EMs to whatever makes sense for yours. So for mine, I feel like 4 was kind of an appropriate amount. Okay, then after that, I have this part here. So I think I'm going to, personally, I don't really like having home there because I'm going to make this home. However, this is more explicit that that's home. So I'm going to go ahead and actually leave that in there, even though I'm not necessarily a huge fan of it. So we'll leave that in there. Let's go back down here. So we have the class button, logo graphic. The href, though, I want that to go to my home page. So I'm just going to go ahead. So the graphic, if you click on it, will also be homepage. So I'm just going to do index.html for the href. Then you're going to scroll down, and here's where home is written. I'm also going to put this as index.html. So that will also link right back to the page we're currently on. So nothing special there. And then we have our links. So for the links, I'm just going to go ahead and do an about. Okay. And we're going to make, I don't have it yet, but I'm going to make a page called about.html. So that'll be good. And then after that, it has this drop down. And so if we look here, you'll see when I click on this, right, it has these drop downs and it's called drop down. I don't want it to be called drop down. I'm just going to have this one called courses. Okay. And then I can have my courses that I would want to put inside of here. So we'll just go ahead and do BCP 144 web design 1, and then we'll do another one, VCP 244 web design, design 2. And then you'll see there's this divider. That's just like it's a horizontal rule is what it is. I don't really need that, so I'm just going to remove that because I don't really find that super handy. And then we'll just do another one here. So you get the idea. You get the idea that basically slash 117, 117, you would be able to basically add as many as you would want or need, right? So there's another one. And then what I'm going to do is I want to put another one in there. So I'm just going to copy this list item, okay? Control C, and then I would just Control V, and then I put in another one in here. So I'll do, let's say, 136 multimedia production 1, right? And then if I wanted to put more in there, like intro to game design or whatever, I could put, you just keep copying and pasting them, and each one would be a drop-down menu item, right? And then I would have, if I had different pages, I would just put the links in here, just like we did here, like about. I'm just going to do one sub page because I don't want to have you have to do a whole bunch. You'll get the idea of how it works. And if you have fewer, you would just delete these out, all right? And it's the same thing here. So if you look, let's say I wanted to have another nav item. So you can see here's one nav item. I'm going to tab this in so it's a little more obvious, right? So here's one link, and then one list item, and then here's the link. Then here's the next list item, then here's the link. So if I wanted another one of these, I would just copy that. If I didn't want to use the drop downs, and then paste it in here, and then I would put my next one in there. So right now, oops, cancel. We're just going to go and save it, and you'll see. So now I have two abouts, right? But I could have multiple ones, all right? And now if I click down, you can see there are those. Okay, so that looks acceptable. I don't want to have two of these. I was just showing you as an example. But that's how you would just kind of copy and paste the parts that you need and take out the parts that you don't. So right here, you can see there's another nav item that says disabled, blah, blah, blah. I don't need that one. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that one. All right. Now, you will also see, if we go back here, there's this search bar. I don't really want this search bar, so I'm just going to remove that. And you can see it's a form. It's not going to function anyway, because in order for it to work, you'd have to have some sort of dynamic, you'd have to have some JavaScript and some other dynamic stuff. It's things you would put maybe inside of if you had, like, we're working with a CMS like WordPress. So I'm just going to take this form out. We'll just take that out, and voila. Now I have formatted my, or I've put in the content now for my nav bar. So yay, that's one bit. And you know what? I'm going to stop the video here, and then we'll just do another one, and we'll just work our way down.